Vietnamese Proclamation of Independence. Fellow citizens, all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This immortal statement is in the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America in 1776. In a broader sense, this means all the peoples on earth are equal from birth. All the peoples have a right to live, to be happy and free. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen of the French Revolution in 1791 also states, all men are born free and with equal rights, and must always remain free and have equal rights. Those are undeniable truths. That said, for more than 80 years, the French imperialists, abusing the standard of liberty, equality, and fraternity, violated our fatherland and oppressed our fellow citizens. They acted contrary to the ideals of humanity and justice. In politics, they deprived our people of every democratic liberty. They enforced inhuman laws. They set up three distinct political regimes in the center, the south, the north, to wreck our national unity and prevent our people from being united. They built more prisons than schools. They mercilessly slain our patriots. They drowned our uprisings in rivers of blood. They fettered public opinion, practiced obscurantism against our people to weaken our race. They forced us to use opium and alcohol. In economics, they fleeced us to the backbone, impoverished our people, and devastated our land. They robbed us of our rice fields, our mines, and our raw materials. They monopolized the issuing of banknotes and the export trade. They invented numerous unjustifiable taxes and reduced our people, especially our peasantry, to extreme poverty. They hampered the prosperity of our national bourgeoisie. They mercilessly exploited our workers. In the autumn of 1940, when the Japanese fascists violated Indochina territory to establish new bases in their fight against the Allies, the French imperialists went down on their bended knees and handed over our country to them. From then on, our people were subjected to the double yoke of the French and the Japanese. Our sufferings and miseries increased. From the end of last year to the beginning of this year, from Quang Tri to the north of Vietnam, over 2 million of our folks died from starvation. On March 9th, the French troops were disarmed by the Japanese. The French colonialists either fled or surrendered, showing that not only were they incapable of protecting us, but that in 5 years they had twice sold our country to the Japanese. On several occasions before March 9th, the Viet Minh urged the French to ally against the Japanese. Instead of agreeing to this proposal, they intensified terrorist activities against the Viet Minh. Before fleeing, they massacred a great number of our political prisoners who were detained at Yen Bai and Cao Bang. Despite all this, our fellow citizens have always manifested toward the French a tolerant and human attitude. After the Japanese putsch on March 9th, the Vietnamese helped many Frenchmen cross the frontier, rescued some of them from Japanese jails, and protected French lives and property. From the autumn of 1940, our country had, in fact, ceased to be a French colony and had become a Japanese possession. After the Japanese had surrendered to the Allies, our whole people rose to seize power and found the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. In fact, our people wrested our independence from the Japanese and not from the French. The French fled, the Japanese capitulated, and Emperor Bao Dai abdicated. We broke the chains, which for nearly a century fettered them, and won independence for the fatherland. We also overthrew the monarchy and ruled for centuries. In its place was established the Democratic Republic. For these reasons, we, the members of the Provisional Government, represent the entire Vietnamese people and declare the termination of all colonial relations with France, repealing all the international obligations that France subscribed to on behalf of Vietnam, and abolishing all the special rights for the French in Vietnam. The whole Vietnamese people, animated by a common purpose, are determined to fight against any French colonialist scheme. We are convinced that the Allied nations, which are Tehran and San Francisco, have acknowledged the principles of self-determination and equality of nations, and will not refuse to acknowledge the independence of Vietnam, a people who has courageously opposed French domination for more than 80 years. People who have fought side by side with the Allies against the fascists in these last years. Such a people must be free and independent. For these reasons, we, the Provisional Government of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, solemnly declare to the world that Vietnam has the rights to be a free and independent country, and in fact, it is already. And thus, the Vietnamese people are determined to mobilize all physical and mental strength and sacrifice their lives and property to safeguard their independence and liberty.